Hey everyone, what is going on? So I have more battles for you today than I did on stream, and I did really well with this team. I had a 10-0, I think I had a 13-0, I kept on going. I just did really well with this team, and it's a team I've used in the past as well. Last season, a couple seasons ago, going to be Cresselia, Pidgeot, and Jellicent. So Cresselia and Pidgeot make a great team comp, and then you could use other Pokemon. You could use like a Virizion. I've seen it like with Pidgeot in the lead, with Cresselia and Virizion in the back. There's other Pokemon that work well. I happen to use Jellicent, and as I said, it just works out great for me. I just kept on getting wins left and right. Up 200 points on one day. Went from I'm in the 2400s as of the time of this recording, so I'm close to veteran. And I started in, like, I think the low 2200s. So, yeah, I went up like 200 points, almost 200 points. Absolutely insane. And we have a lot of battles for you today. I think it's about a half hour, maybe even over that. But let's go ahead and dive right into it. Unfortunately, I'm shielding the double Iron Bash. I don't know. I wasn't sure that they had double Iron Bash, but that's okay. I can go ahead and bring in my Jellicent to fight this Giratina right now. Of course, I am taking super effective damage from that Shadow Claw, but they have Ancient Power and Dragon Claw, so my opponent definitely hoping for the boost. I'm going to go ahead and go for this Shadow Ball right now. This Shadow Ball going to be doing massive damage, but my opponent will shield that one up. I could still let this attack go right now, and it's going to be another Ancient Power, of course. Can I make it to a Shadow Ball? Barely not able to, and I'm like, well, I knew this was a Dragon Claw. And I'm like, I think I live like 1 HP. No, I don't live! I could have gotten that Shadow Ball off if I shielded. So I'm like, do I lose now? That's what I was thinking. Did I just like make a big mistake? So Dragon Claw, of course, I know the moves that have resisted because I know they have Dragon Claw and I know they have Ancient Power. So my opponent is going to go ahead and switch. Maybe they just tried to catch. Luckily for me, they were not able to. I'm just going to go ahead and throw 2 Sacred Sword attacks to get rid of this Melmetal. Could have farmed that down, but I would have had to shield a Superpower. I think I could have farmed it down. But now I need 2 Stone Edge attacks to KO this Giratina. And I am getting down there in health, right? I am getting down there. So I think I actually let this one go. I do let it go. It's going to be a Dragon Claw. I do have 1 shield, so I'm going to be able to shield this attack and get off my attack. But man, not shielding that Shadow Ball almost cost me, or not Shadow Ball, not shielding my Jellicent to protect myself to survive to get off the Shadow Ball, right? Almost gave that one away. But good game, well played to my opponent, and I'm going to be able to win it. Moving on, we have the Shiny Cresselia into Dragonite. Okay, kind of tough. We do resist the attack besides Superpower. I'm actually going to go ahead and bait this attack, and my opponent's actually going to call it as well. Huge call, risky call by my opponent, but that was a good call. So now they know this is a Sacred Sword, so they don't have to shield this. I just wanted to get it off, I guess, just before my opponent got off an attack. So that was really unfortunate for me. You could go straight Stone Edge. I mean, usually they shield, right? It's too risky not to, but in that case, my opponent did not. So I'm going to actually go ahead and double shield and farm down so I have a lot of energy, but I am down 2 shields. Out comes my champ. I'm going to go ahead and go into my Jellicent, and my opponent is staying in. This told me that they had payback, or at least that's what I thought, that's what the chat thought, but they actually don't. They have Rock Slide. So I'm thinking they must be weak to Jellicent in the back if they're throwing Rock Slide. I'm going to go ahead and throw another bait. It's a Surf, and my opponent's still not shielding that. OMG, nice calls by my opponent, but I do get off another Surf, so if they don't shield this, then Machamp will go down, and they do shield that one. So I know this is Rock Slide because they don't have payback. They would have thrown it, yeah, I'm going to be able to take that one, and it's going to be a Charizard. So I throw the Surf into the Charizard right now. Super effective damage, and my opponent won't call it because they know I have a Stone Edge ready to go and a lot of energy on Cresselia, so they really couldn't shield it. But that one they really have to. And my opponent does get to an attack, but I knew it was just a Dragon Claw, so I'm going to be able to survive this and get off my Stone Edge and KO the Charizard. Somehow I'm going to be able to win this one despite my opponent calling the baits in the beginning. But I do KO that, and Machamp is coming in. And I could bring in the Pidgeot, and my opponent will concede there. And that is going to be a good game, very well played to my opponent. Definitely a tough one. Well played. Moving on, Cresselia into Nidoqueen, another tough lead, right? I mean, of course, Nidoqueen is resisting all the attacks. I do have to leave into my Pidgeot, and now out comes Wolverine. I should have thrown before my opponent got off the Icicle Spear, but I guess I'm shielding one anyway, so it's fine. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Feather Dance. So what I want to do is throw the Feather Dance and then throw the Brave Bird, because the Brave Bird won't KO, so my opponent does not have to shield that. My opponent will get to an attack, but because they're double debuffed, it's not going to be enough to KO me, so I can take that Icicle Spear just fine. And I'm going to farm up, and I do decide to throw my Brave Bird right now. Hoping that they don't shield. They do shield though. I kind of thought they would, but I just decided to go for it. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Cobalion right now. This is a tough one. Wolverine is going to go ahead and go for that Earthquake. They are debuffed, so it's not going to threaten me, but I'm going to bring in my Jellicent right now, and the Nidoqueen going to go ahead and go for this attack. I do shield it up, and it is an Earth Power, so that is a good shield by me. And I'm going to farm up enough for 2. I do go ahead and throw this Surf right now, and this Surf is going to be enough to pick up the shield. Very nice. So I do get off another one. It's not going to be enough to KO, but they actually shield that. So let's see if they... well, they're out of shield, so they can't shield that. And my opponent does throw an attack. Of course, it's going to be an Earth Power, but not going to be enough to KO me. And I'm going to go ahead and farm up, throw an attack before my opponent can get to an attack. So this is going to be enough to KO that Nidoqueen. Very nice. So still looking to be pretty rough, but we'll see what decides to come in. Going to be that Wolverine right now, and I do go ahead and throw this Shadow Ball. So what I want to do is throw the Shadow Ball and maybe bring in Cobalion and try to double kick down, because I knew it wouldn't KO, but it's Charizard, and Charizard does not have any shields. So when it doesn't have any shields, what does that mean? It means a Stone Edge will land and it will KO. So I'm going to be able to take that one. But that was a tough one. You see some of these games pretty tough to win, but I'm still able to win it. Good game. Moving on, Cobalion into Galarian Stunfisk. Okay, I do like this matchup. Yes, they do have Earthquake, so kind of rough in that regard, but it's still okay because, I mean, I'm getting to these Sacred Swords really fast, right? And I'm going to be able to throw another one. This is a CMP tie. Let's see if my opponent decides to shield this one up. They do shield it up, and they do throw an attack. Now I'm going to go ahead and protect my Cobalion. Unfortunately, it is a Rock Slide bait, but it is what it is. So they do get to another attack. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this. If it's a bait, I can't farm up too much, but if it's an Earthquake, I can farm up more. So I'm going to go ahead and farm up enough for 2. I don't think I can go for the farm down. Yeah, I do go ahead and throw this attack. Don't think I could have gotten the farm there, but I do throw the Sacred Sword. And I am down shields, but out comes Tapu Fini, so I'm going to be able to throw this Stone Edge. And this is not bad, because the Stone Edge attacks are definitely adding up against the Tapu Fini, right? Can I get to one more? I can. No, my opponent gets to an attack, but I don't think it's enough to KO me. So it's just going to be a Surf that's certainly not enough, so I still get off my Stone Edge. So really, really looking strong for me. Yes, I am down a shield, but my opponent's almost down a second Pokemon, and I'm trying to get to a Sacred Sword, and I get there, but my opponent throws an attack. Nice counting by my opponent. So they're going to be able to get off that Surf and KO my Cobalion, so I bring in Jellicent. Pidgeot is coming in. I'm going to bring in my own Pidgeot right now. And just go ahead and throw this Brave Bird. Just want to get the damage off, and my opponent actually does shield that. So nice call by my opponent to shield that. So now, I was hoping they would think it was a Feather Dance, but no, now they can throw the Brave Bird. But here's the thing, if they throw another Brave Bird, it's not going to KO me, and a Surf will probably KO them, but they throw the Feather Dance. Really good play by my opponent. So I'm trying to... Yeah, I want them to throw this attack. Brave Bird, I think I live it, and I can get off my Surf attack, and I do live it. And now, my opponent's quadruple debuffed, but I am single debuffed, so... Out comes Tapu Fini. I gotta charge up enough for 2 Surfs. I do charge up enough for 2 Surfs. I cannot farm down this Fini. I'm gonna go ahead and go for the Surf to KO it. And I'm hoping the Surf will pick up the knockout, but I am double debuffed, so I'm not thinking it will, but I throw the Surf anyway to hope that it does. It does not. 1 more Hex? No, 2 more Hexes, and I'm able to take out the Pidgeot with Hex. OMG, good game. Woo, that was a crazy game. A lot of crazy games. Moving on, Cobalion into Pidgeot. Okay, never liked this matchup. I do have Stone Edge, of course, so it's not like the worst in the world, but yeah, not the worst matchup in the world. My opponent is going to go ahead and throw an attack right now into my Cobalion. I'm just going to let it go. It's going to be a Feather Dance. That's fine. I actually didn't throw my attack. So my opponent tried to catch. They're not able to, which is good. So I bring in my Jellicent, saving that energy on Cobalion. And now I know this is going to be an Earthquake. You don't go for Hydro Cannon here, right? So yeah, going to go ahead and be that Earthquake. And I'm going to go ahead and throw my ball. Throw the Shadow Ball right now. And this will connect, okay? And now I'm going to be able to get off a Surf. But will the Surf be enough to KO? Let's find out. I think it's going to be close. I don't know if it exactly KOs, but they shield. So the good thing about this is I do survive an Earthquake. So I could take an Earthquake or I could shield to preserve some health. I decided to take it. So they shielded, and I'm still going to be able to get switched. But they actually catch on Pidgeot. Good catch, good catch. But that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and switch and go for my Sacred Sword right now. Just going for the bait, hoping that they shield this one, but they actually call it. So the good thing about it, though, is I do have another one. So because they called it, this will be enough to KO. And I'm almost at another one. But my opponent does throw an attack. So Hydro, not going to be enough to KO. So I do let it go. And I'm going to be able to farm down, so I have a lot of energy. What comes in? Going to be a Melmetal. So I need to get some damage off on this Melmetal. Or not Melmetal. Registeel. So I do pick up the shield, and I do go ahead and get to another one. I want to get one more. I really do want to get one more. So Sacred Sword is going to connect, and I really want to get to one more. Come on! I do get to it. I do get to it. So this is going to connect, and I'm going to go ahead and go into my Jellicent right now, try to get to an attack. I'm going to be able to get to it because I can shield this one. Even a Zap Cannon, it's a Focus Blast, but even a Zap Cannon, even if they debuffed me, I'm pretty sure the Shadow Ball would still KO, and even if it didn't, I could Hex down. So either way, that will take out the Registeel, and I'll be able to take that game. But that one last double kick, or Sacred Sword, did matter. So good game, well played. Let's go ahead and move into the next one. Cobalion into Swampert. So kind of rough, but kind of okay. I mean, not the greatest matchup, of course, because of the Earthquake. You never know if they're going to bait or go straight Earthquake, right? It could go either way, so I'm just going to go ahead and go for that Sacred Sword right there. And my opponent does throw an attack. I do decide to shield this one, and unfortunately my opponent does throw the Hydro. I would say most of the time it probably is a Hydro, but I've been hit with Earthquake before, so like it could go either way. So I do throw Sacred Sword. I do pick up the shield there. I do go ahead and shield this. Hopefully they throw the Earthquake and they don't throw another Hydro. They do throw the Earthquake, so that is good for me. So I'm going to go be able to farm up now, and I know this is another Hydro, so I don't have to, I mean, I can't shield it, but I don't have to worry about it KOing me. And I do charge up enough for 2. Going to go ahead and throw. Don't anticipate the shield, because if they shield, I get off another one. They let it go. And out comes Haxorus. I'm going to go ahead and throw this attack right now, the Sacred Sword. Will my opponent shield it? They will not shield it. Haxorus, I've seen a decent amount of times. It's okay. Yeah, obviously Breaking Swipe is really good. It's going to be better in the Master Premier Cup, in my opinion. It's just really frail. It's still good, though. So I bring in Jellicent, and they do have Night Slash, which was kind of... I mean, I knew they had Night Slash. So you could argue that Pidgeot should have come in, but the counter damage is double resisted. That's why I brought in the Jellicent. But let me know which one you would have brought in. But they actually make a really good catch onto the Abomasnow. No! Okay, so good catch, but I'm going to be able to get off the ball. And we'll see if my opponent decides to shield this. I do have a Pidgeot in the back, and they do shield it, which is good. Because now a Brave Bird will KO. I mean, it would have KO'd before, but they would have had a shield. I'm not going to get KO'd from this from this Weather Dance. So I'm going to be able to get off the Brave Bird to KO the Abomasnow, which is really, really good for me. So there we go. Abomasnow does go down. Out comes Haxorus. My opponent is going to be able to get to an attack and KO my Pidgeot. But the Haxorus is a Hex or 2 away from going down, and it does, in fact, go down. Good game to my opponent. Well played to them. Tough one. A lot of tough games, still able to pull through. Okay, Regirock in the lead. I know it has Focus Blast, Zap Cannon, Earthquake. Could have a number of different moves. Out comes Galiciopod. So the thing about Galiciopod is Pidgeot does double resist Shadow Claw. It also resists X-Scissor, but it takes neutral damage from Liquidation. When it comes to Jellicent, you resist the charge attacks, but you do take super effective damage from the Shadow Claw damage. So you could go in with either one. I ended up going in with Pidgeot and I threw straight Brave Bird. I don't anticipate them to shield. That's why I think that was the second time I went for the straight Brave Bird. They don't shield that. So I think that makes sense to go straight Brave Bird there if you go into the Pidgeot. Because, you know, they don't want to shield the Feather Dance. You're generally going to take that matchup anyway because you do double resist the Shadow Claws. They're really not doing much even after the double debuff, right? But I do let the Pidgeot go. Plus, in this situation, I wanted Pidgeot to avoid the Regirock, right? So that's another reason why you would bring in the Pidgeot in that specific situation. But I'm going to go ahead and go for this Sacred Sword right now. And my opponent does get off an attack. Of course, I don't want to take a Focus Blast, so I do go ahead and shield it, and it is, in fact, that blast. So out comes Jellicent. So having the Pidgeot would have been nice, but I didn't know they had Jellicent in the back, right? I wasn't predicting it. I didn't know what it was. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this Stone Edge. Very nice indeed. Unfortunately, my opponent is over-farming, which you don't love to see. I do go ahead and take this Shadow Ball. Now, I do throw a Stone Edge. Probably should have baited here, just because, I mean, they kind of have to shield, and they do shield, but that's fine. I'm just going to let this one go, and I could bring in my Jellicent, and now at this point in time, all I need to do is really throw Surf. I know Surf is not going to KO, but the Hex damage is adding up, so I do charge up for the Shadow Ball and throw the Surf, but my opponent wins CMP. I do shield that, and it is the Shadow Ball, so good shield by me, but I do throw the Surf, hoping to pick up the shield from my opponent. And my opponent does shield, so I'm thinking, well, okay, so I have to watch out for a catch. My opponent does get off the attack first, but it's not going to be enough to KO me. I do have to watch out for the catch, so I'm not throwing right away, and in comes the Regirock, so I'm going to go ahead and overfarm max energy, get off the Surf against the Regirock because I cannot hex it down. That will be enough to KO, get off the Shadow Ball against the Jellicent, and take that game. Holy smokes, another super close one, but I'm able to take it. Good game. Well played to my opponent. Let's go ahead and move into the next one, Captain App Crash. Okay, so it's going to be, Gyarados from my opponent. Very, very spicy. I do resist the attacks besides Aqua Tail. I guess Hydro Pump, but I'm not expecting Hydro Pump. Yeah, this is definitely an Aqua Tail, so I'm going to go ahead and take this attack. And yeah, there's the Aqua Tail, totally fine. And I'm overfarming, watching for the catch, and my opponent does catch. Hey, what can I say? Nice catch by my opponent. It is a Virizion. I can go ahead and bring in my Pidgeot right now. Now, I know this is not a Stone Edge, so I'm going to let that go. So I know they have Leaf Blade, Sacred Sword, because, yeah, so that's why I could let that go. I'm going to go ahead and let this one go as well. No, I do go ahead and shield this one up, because the Sacred Sword's a neutral. And unfortunately, I can't farm down unless if I want to shield another attack. So I do throw the Feather Dance, but my hope is that I can get to a Brave Bird against the Gyarados that I assume comes in, and I think I can. And it is coming in. I throw the Feather Dance. So I do make it to the Brave Bird, but I throw the Feather Dance, hoping that my opponent would shield it, and my opponent does shield it, which is really good for me. So if they go for the farm down, I will make it to another attack. I'm going to go ahead and let this one go right now. Now keep in mind, that, first of all, they are debuffed, right? They're double debuffed. So I could bring in my Cobalion, and I'm resisting the attacks. My opponent is going to throw in Aqua Tail. Don't resist this, but it's not going to be enough to KO. I do throw the Stone Edge. I wasn't going to bait here. I wasn't sure if they were going to shield it. So I do throw the Stone Edge, and they do shield it. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my Jellicent right now. Out comes Drapion. So I'm like, don't really like to see it. But I knew there was still some play. Because I do have a shield advantage. If I had no shield, there wouldn't be any play, right? So my opponent is going to go ahead and get off this attack right now. And of course, it's going to be Crunch. Not going to shield the first one. It doesn't KO me. They do get the debuff, which is not great. But it's not like they could Poison Sting me down anyway. So I don't know if that debuff affects me too much. It will affect me when the Gyarados comes back in. But I'm going to go ahead and shield this one. Going to be a Crunch. Obviously, that KOs. And I do get off the Surf right now. So again, it will affect me because that Gyarados is coming back in. So I'm going to go ahead and have to reset the debuff. And my opponent throws an attack, which is good for me because I was not going to make it to a Stone Edge. So that is really good for me, and I realized I wasn't getting to the Shadow Ball. I get to the Surf. I swear I thought they were going to make it to an attack. And this Surf is enough to KO. I wasn't sure if it was going to be enough. Very close game. That was a nail biter. That was really close. Good game, Captain Aptrish. Very well played. Yeah, I don't know. I think if he didn't throw an attack against Cobalion, I mean, he definitely wins that. But you know what? I guess he thought he wasn't sure of my energy. Kind of makes sense, right? So my opponent is going to go ahead and save swap into Jellicent. I'm going to go ahead and respond with my Pidgeot. I love Pidgeot. I really, really do. I love Feather... Well, it's Feather Dance that I love, I guess. But it's a great move. It's a great move. Maybe a little bit too good. But I do throw the Feather Dance. Usually what I do against Jellicent, if they're locked in, because, like... so you don't have to shield. So what I do is I throw the Feather Dance as soon as I get to it. And then I charge up enough for as much as I can. Almost back-to-back Brave Birds. Because at that point, one Brave Bird will be enough to KO the Jellicent. So you could take all these Surfs. You can't take another one after that. Well, maybe you can, but either way, I get to the Brave Bird. Usually, I would say 9 times out of 10, they do not shield this. I have had trainers shield. Depends if they really want to win Switch, but usually they don't. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Feather Dance. Should I have thrown the... I threw the Brave... Excuse me, I threw the Brave Bird. Should I have thrown the Feather Dance? Maybe... Well, no, because I get to a Feather Dance. Because they were trying to farm me down at that point. If I threw the Feather Dance, they wouldn't have tried to farm me down, right? So no, I think that ended up working out well for me. Now, my opponent is going to go ahead and get to this attack. I'm going to go ahead and shield 1. They have a lot of energy. I know they're double debuffed, but I decided to shield 1 because it's still going to... You'll see it. I mean, 2 would still KO me. So, or actually, I guess not, but come close. Ooh, Galarian Weezing. Don't like that Pokemon, but I can go ahead and get off the Stone Edge right now, and I do pick up the shield. Now, I know that thing has Brutal Swing, but they can't go for Overheat. They could go for Play Rough. I am expecting a Brutal Swing if they're running it, because I am weak to it, so it would make sense. And they do, in fact, have it. But I do survive a couple of them. Brutal Swing is a good move, but it's not the strongest move in the game. It's not going to two-shot me. It is a good move, though. I mean, Galarian Weezing is a good Pokemon. I just finished mine last season with all those coughing spawns that we had during that one event. I'm working on Tentacruel myself, to be honest. I don't have enough XLs for it, even with that last water event. Still don't have enough, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Okay, so I shield that Brutal Swing, and I do get off the Surf. Not going to be enough to KO this Weezing. But I could bring in Cobalion, and I do anticipate them to shield, and that's exactly what happened. I farmed down, and a Sacred Sword would have been enough, but for some reason, I knew they would not add another attack. I just go up for the Stone Edge and take that game. So that is going to be a great game. Very well played to my opponent. Loving the Team Rocket outfit, by the way. I can't wait to get the Giovanni outfit. Moving on. Oh, Ampharos. Okay, so the back line does hate electric attacks, right? Now, electric Pokemon are not super common. You do see Ampharos, you do see Galvantula, but again, they're not super, super common. And most of the time when you see them, from my experience, they're in the lead. Not all the time, but a lot of times they are. At least from my experience, as we see right now, Ampharos is in the lead, which is good. Now, this could be a Focus Blast. I don't expect it to. Most do not run Focus Blast, but it is possible, so I shielded it. I knew this one was not going to be a Focus Blast. You know, usually they carry Brutal Swing, and then the other move could be Thunder Punch, it could be Zap Cannon, could be the Focus Blast, but in this case it's Thunder Punch. So I'm going to be able to take out Ampharos, and that's good because the backline will not get to see it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go for the Stone Edge. You could bait in this situation, but if they call it, you're going to be in a rough spot. You don't want them to call it, unless you bait. But baiting would have been nice there, obviously, because they shielded it, right? So now I'll be hit with this Dragon Claw. It actually doesn't KO me. Unfortunately, I can't get to a Stone Edge, though, so I'm going to be able to throw this. I wish I could have gotten to a Stone Edge. So yeah, the bait would have been beautiful, but that's okay. I do bring in my Jellicent. And Jellicent can take Blast Burns like a champ. I think in the Great League, it dies to 2, or maybe almost dies to 2. If it's a Shadow, it definitely does. But in the Ultra League, you could definitely take several of them. So it's obviously good in the back. I'm going to go ahead and respond with my Pidgeot. So in this situation, just going to throw the Feather Dance as soon as I get it. My opponent's out of shields. I know they're not going to shield it, but I just want to throw this Feather Dance. So because, I mean, a Brave Bird wouldn't have KO'd. I don't want to debuff myself quite yet. So I'm going to go ahead and take this attack right now. It's going to be a Night Slash, totally fine. Come on, I can get to it. I think I can. I think I can. I do get to it. You love to see it. So Brave Bird coming out. That will be enough to KO. Now, Charizard will be able to farm me down, which is not ideal. But I do have the Surf ready to go, so it doesn't really matter. I still had a shield, plus I survive a Blast Bird anyway. So I'm going to be able to take that game. Good game, well played to my opponent there. Okay, we still have more battles. I told you, these battles kept on going on. Okay, Talonflame, I don't like this lead. I'm just going to go ahead and leave. Yes, you can get a shield with Stone Edge or bait. Like, you'll definitely get a shield, but I'm just going to go ahead and respond with my Pidgeot. I'm going to go ahead and shield this one up, and it's going to be a Brave Bird. Now, that's good because I throw the Feather Dance here. I think because my opponent threw the Brave Bird, they're more likely to shield this, and they do shield it, so that's good for me. And out comes Tapu Fini. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Feather Dance ASAP, and then I should, I believe, after this double debuff, make it to the Brave Bird, which I really want to do. I'm glad they didn't have a Steel type in the back to respond to my Pidgeot. And Moonblast is going to connect, but not going to KO because of the double debuff, and I do make it to that Brave Bird. You'll love to see it. I really want Jellicent on that Talonflame. It's not enough, come on! I do farm it down with Wing Attack. Let's go. So Talonflame can farm me down, but I have the Jellicent. So that's really good for me. But they do have Brave Bird, right? So Brave Bird, it's not like Charizard where you resist the moves. You don't resist Dragon Claw, but it's not a powerful move. Brave Bird is a powerful move. Out comes this Venusaur. So this is interesting because I resist the attacks, all of them, right? But Frenzy Plant's still going to do a good amount of damage. And they still have a shield, which is not really great. But I do go ahead and throw this Stone Edge. And I'm going to go ahead and take this attack right now. This is not going to be enough to KO, but another one will KO me. I'm not going to bait here. I'm just going to go straight for it. And yeah, I go straight for the Stone Edge. And this will be enough to KO. And they do let it go. I thought they would let it go because I figured they would want to farm me down. Oh, I don't get it off. I would have liked to get that off. I need 2 Surfs. Okay, so if they go for Brave Bird, it's not going to KO me. So I was expecting the Flame Charge, and they do go for Flame Charge. They didn't want to debuff themselves, so I do get off my Surf right now. And my opponent is going to go ahead and shield that one up, and I do get off another Surf. And you know, at this point, I'm wondering, is Surf actually going to be enough damage? But it is enough. If it wasn't, they had the Brave Bird, that would have KO'd me because they were boosted from the Flame Charge. So good game, going to be able to take that one. So that was a close one. That was a tough lead, yeah. So moving on, Cobalion into Cresselia. Hate it, absolutely hate it. Cresselia is tough, even against Jellicent. Yes, Jellicent is the best answer on the team for the Cresselia, but if they have Grass Knot, you don't know. They could have Future Sight, they could have Grass Knot. You never know which moveset they have. So it's very difficult. Yeah, it's very difficult. But I would say Jellicent's good against it because of Shadow Ball, but it's still very difficult. But you can't go into that because then if they switch out, even if they don't have it, you have to go into Pidgeot. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Feather Dance right now into the Galarian Weezing. And very nice. And I want to get to a Brave Bird. And do I shield this one? Because I figured this would be an Overheat or a Play Rough. I do shield it, and it is the Play Rough, so I do call that correctly. And I'm going to overfarm, going for the Brave Bird. Not sure if my opponent's going to shield, but I'm just going to go ahead and go for it. Why not? Might as well go for it. And they don't shield. Let's go. So I'm assuming Moonblast. Grass Knot's not going to KO, so it's got to be Moonblast. But it's Future Sight, okay? So when they threw Future Sight, I was thinking maybe they have Grass Knot Future Sight, which is kind of... It's a unique moveset, I would say, in Cresselia. Not unheard of, and that's exactly what they have, which is unfortunate for Jellicent. But... Gotta play with what you got, right? You gotta play with the cards you dealt with. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this Shadow Ball right now into the Cresselia, and I do pick up a shield. The shield, I guess, was kind of obvious. Could have baited, but I didn't. And another Grass Knot. I know I live it. Come on, one more ball. I do get to the Shadow Ball. This Shadow Ball is going to do a lot, unless my opponent shields it up, and they do not shield it up. It doesn't KO. That's how tanky that is. Charizard coming in. I make it to the Surf. Absolutely love it. They know I have Cobalion with Stone Edge in the back, so I'm thinking they do not shield it, and that's exactly what happens. They don't shield it. So I knew this was a Dragon Claw because they didn't charge up for the Blast Bird. So I'm like, I'm definitely not going to shield that one. I mean, if they were going to throw the Dragon Claw, they definitely needed to charge up for the Blast Bird, but they didn't. So that's going to give me a win. I would have lost because of that. Well, unless if I called it correctly. But Luckily for me, they threw the Dragon Claw. I'm not sure why. Maybe it was a panic click. I've done that before. So, hey, I'm not calling the kettle black here. I've done that before. Like, I've panic clicked, misclicked. It could have happened. Nothing wrong with it. It happens, you know? So good game. Well played to my opponent. But who knows what happened with that. But maybe it was a misclick. All right, moving on. Okay, Giratina in the lead. Okay, not really good. If they don't have Shadow Force or Shadow Sneak, it's okay because you're resisting all the moves besides Shadow Claw. But they do have Shadow Sneak, so not really great. I figured I would soft lose this lead. I don't really want to leave the matchup, so I'm gonna go ahead and stay in here. I do get that off, and my opponent is gonna be able to get off another Shadow Sneak. Not gonna shield it, just gonna let it go. And I do throw this Stone Edge attack. Again, they don't have to worry about being farmed down at that health from double kick, so there's no reason to shield it, right? So I wasn't expecting to shield. My opponent does Stone Attack. I think I let it go and I was hoping that I would live it. But I don't live. I was hoping they'd do the Dragon Claw and I would live it. But one of my opponents did that once. But I wasn't expecting it. But you know, one can hope, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and bring out this Pidgeot. Let me know if you stayed throughout the entire video, by the way. If you did, I really appreciate it. Now I put in Pidgeot to farm down because I know they don't have Ancient Power because they have Shadow Sneak. So I knew it was Dragon Claw, Shadow Sneak. So I'm just gonna go ahead and farm down with the Pidgeot and hope I could do some work with a maxed out 100 energy Pidgeot. And they actually bring in that Steel type, but it's Cresselia, so not that bad for me. So I'm gonna be able to throw 2 Brave Birds, which will KO or get a shield. So Pidgeot really coming in handy, and they do shield that one, but I do bring in my Jellicent. I know this is Stone Edge. It doesn't really do that much to Jellicent, so I'm going to go ahead and let it go. And now out comes Charizard, a Shadow one at that, already ahead on energy. I have shield advantage. I'm looking really good. Figured this would be a Dragon Claw, but I'm going to go ahead and shield it. And throw the Surf attacks. Now, Surf is not going to be enough to KO it in the Ultra League. These Pokemon are tankier, but it will get it low. I throw another one, which will be enough to KO or pick up that final shield. My opponent does shield, so now I figure, well, I could shield and Hex down, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So, yeah, Cresselia, tough lead. Well, actually, Cresselia was not the lead in this battle, right? I don't think it was. But either way, tough game. Still going to be... Oh, no, it's Giratina this one. Again, Giratina, tough lead. Still going to be able to overcome it. And I do throw that Shadow Ball to KO that Cresselia, and that is going to be a great game. Very well played to my opponent. Is that the last battle? Because I know we're over a half hour. It is. So, yeah, another 5-0. As I said, I just kept on winning with this team. I don't know why. I mean, a lot of close games, but I'm going to be able to take it, getting into the 2400s. And that will be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really do appreciate it if you stayed throughout the entire video. Have a good day. Bye.